How does that feel not being in your own shoes?
Kid grabbed it, I don't know, touched his face or whatever, break out.
He'll have a captain, not just someone leaving and having to go find somebody else.
Yeah, if the voice came on channel 71, would you recognize it?
All right, guys, welcome back to the Captain's Report. Today, we got a special guest on the bus I want to introduce you to. We go around the table. In the seats, we got Captain Quentin, co-host, Captain Dustin of Outlaw, Captain Joe producing, of course, the legendary Captain Jack, and introducing to the world Captain Coleman, an upcoming captain here in the Inlet. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Captain's Report, where the fish are big, the stories are bigger, and nothing is off limits. We're talking wild fishing tales, charter chaos, and the unfiltered side of the industry, straight from the captains who've seen it all. So grab a beer, hold your rods, and tighten those drags, because this ain't your granddaddy's fishing report.
Captain Coleman, I know kind of up and coming here. You've been here a couple of years, and you got your start with Captain Tommy of Outlaw Fishing Charters, but you decided to kind of break off and do your own thing. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So when I started, this was in 2022, and when he hired me, like our, first sit down, go eat lunch, I was like, hey, eventually I would like to do my own thing. I don't know what that looks like right now, but I'd like to own my own company.
So you kind of gave him like a little premonition, like, hey, this is what I would like to work towards.
Right. Yeah. And just kind of took it in, made relationships, kind of built knowledge. That's kind of how that works.
That's a good sign right there. Somebody needs to go buy a lotto ticket.
I know it. But no. In this business, it just takes time on the water to be able to learn.
Yeah, you get your client base built up.
Yeah,
get efficient with like how you feel comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
Doing things.
Building my repeat clientele. So,
know
back
which
to their
guys
business.
to follow, know which ones not to.
Yeah. But no, I did that for a couple of years, and then at the end of each year, me and Tommy, we'd always sit down, grab lunch, just talk about what's gonna happen next year, if there's any changes, this and that. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of brought it up, like, hey, are you looking to?
Are you ready?
Go ahead. Are you ready to
make that step?
Yeah. And I
spread your wings and fly.
And at that time, I had actually hired Dustin to be my first mate.
Yeah.
He started running with me.
Yep.
Like, you know what? I'm just gonna kind of, I think it might have been after that lunch. I was like, you know what? This is going to be kind of perfect because I'll be able to kind of train my replacement.
Yeah.
He'll have a captain, not just someone leaving and having to go find somebody else.
Yeah, because at the time, Captain Tommy had Captain Sully in and out, and then I know Sully, he's a police officer here locally. He's kind of been in and out or whatever, but I know that he was definitely looking for someone that was going to be more solid because at the time, Captain Tommy had three boats, right? And you were running one of the three, and
yeah,
he was running one of them, and
my last year, he kind of went down to two because Sully left.
And that worked out perfect for him, right?
Right. And then it just kind of came up conversation like, hey, are you going to go get your own boat or kind of, how are you planning to go about it? And I was like, I think, I can't remember how the conversation came about, but I was like, I'd buy this boat.
There you go.
And it was the Outlaw at the time.
Yeah.
And it just worked out where that was price
all
point
the puzzles
and everything
fit
else
together for him, for you,
and I know which wire, it's a boat.
Yeah.
Which wire to jiggle.
Yeah,
You already got
You've built the rapport with the boat.
Yeah.
When you got to smack a pump and get it back to working, or when you got to replace it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of little nuances in a boat that no one ever tells you about until you start running them.
Yeah, and it was kind of like had a little sentimental. Like that was my first
boat.
Running my very first charter trip on, this and that, and kind of fast forward, ended up buying that boat. We pulled the wrap off of it. I put my wrap on, and then took over the lease of my slip, and then just kind of went from there. At that point,
I was about to say that's where Dustin kind of comes in because he'd run some trips and done some stuff with you, and then you went and got your license, Dustin, and then
Correct.
You stepped up to the plate with the old Captain Tommy there.
Yeah, so I've had my CDLs forever, and I just came down here, my wife and I, and worked at Seacart for a little while, and I was like, man, I really want to do fishing.
I was about to say, you placed yourself on the water for a little bit. Then, would you see us? You see the?
Yeah, that's fogged all around my own personal boat.
I was about to say, you see us
Just sneaking around. I was like, oh, where are they fishing at? And then met Coleman, and then found out he's from High Point, which is 30 minutes away from my hometown.
Nice.
That was pretty cool. And then Like, you need a mate or anything? And he's like, yeah, come on out. He told me he's thinking about doing his own thing. I was like, perfect. Told me he's going to need a captain then.
We were actually friends for like a year without saying a word to anybody.
Yeah.
We'd come past each other. He drove this sea cart boat, and he did this one time.
Little rascals.
I grew up with little rascals. I was like, what's up? We passed each other for like a whole 12 months.
Never talked to him.
Never talked to him.
Never
nothing.
once said one word
I
to
just
him.
like that, or we'd lift up our shirt.
Yeah.
You never even talked to him. Those are the best
never talked to him.
relationships. Yeah, I know what you're saying. There's a few of us out there running boats and doing stuff like that we have our own little things and we never even hang out. I mean,
Never
it's
talk to
like
anybody.
a relationship on the water, and
That's it.
yeah, it's pretty wild. That's
It's also
awesome.
like the dudes you talk to on the radio all the time.
Oh, yeah, the
But
radio-
you don't know what they look like.
yeah, your radio
You know the
friends.
boat, and you know what they sound like on the radio,
yeah.
but you have no clue what they look like.
But you talk to them every day. You talk to them half as much as you talk to your wife because you're on the water every single day, and you're getting info from them, fishing around them. Yeah,
Yeah, like Greg Coleman.
yeah.
I had
I
that
did.
instant running the head boats. We talked to the guys at Calabash
Yeah.
all the time for years. And so we decided to go get together and have a dinner. Meet in Myrtle Beach halfway, go to the steakhouse, have dinner. And we all walked in there, got a big table. You know, there must have been 18 of us or so.
And half of you never met the other half.
Well, some of us knew some of the guys and everything. And one of the fellows that I talked to on a regular basis every day that ran the West Wind up there, he walks in, and I asked somebody else I know, I said, is that Captain so-and-so? His name was Jimmy. You know, I said, is that Captain Jimmy over there? And he said, yeah. And he came over, and my friend Chip started introducing everybody, and he stopped when he got to me, and I looked at Jimmy, and Jimmy's like, who are you? You know? Yeah, and I said, well, if the voice came on channel 71, would you recognize it? And he's like, oh crap, and he said, I didn't know you were that young. And I looked at him and I said, I didn't know you were that old.
Friends on the radio. That's pretty funny. Didn't even meet each other, fish all the time. But so, Cap Coleman, you're on your own. You're spreading your rooster wings. What's been one of the biggest hardships you've had so far? That like doing your own thing.
Year one was just like, I'm gonna go into this knowing was not see how many mistakes I can make, but just do things I think will work.
Yep.
And knowing that it's 9 out of 10 times not gonna work, gonna waste money here, waste money there, and pretty much went that whole first 12 months just throwing money here, see if I get any trips out of it, or this or that, and trying to kind of, all right, I got this much feedback from this outlet.
Are we talking about like marketing,
or marketing, or like
or
how
clientele, acquiring
Get your
more
name out
clientele,
there.
get your name out?
they're just kind of just
The
throwing
business part itself. Gotcha.
Yep, just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
And at the end of that 12 months,
Was it a big eye opener? Kind of like all the different options that are out there and what works, what doesn't work.
It was, but I didn't have a high expectation just for the fact that I just wanted to be able to
Just going for
pay
it.
my bills,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm not looking to go.
You feel comfortable that you had enough like repeat clientele. That,
Yep. Honestly, that was 80% of my first year. Was
Yeah.
all repeat
Clientele. Gotcha.
They floated
yeah,
me
a lot
through
of,
my
lot of
first
captains
year.
that kind of go first year off that have been in it either as mates or whatever. It seems like that's kind of how they base their things. I mean, running business, it's definitely a competition between different companies that have our own boats. And
Sure.
I know me as a owner operator is that having multiple boats is trying to figure out how to get those new clients
Right.
to the boat, and that's one of the tough things.
Yeah.
What about boat maintenance? What's one of the biggest things we learned? I know one thing. I'll let you.
So
Berkeley Court Storage.
No, it was all right. So I bought that boat, got the loan, got the slip figured out, this and that, and then by the time I got that wrap on it, I was like, I got trips next week. I put it right in the
Got
water.
any more time left? I gotta go.
No bottom paint for that bottom paint for the first 2 years was on it like
Never touched.
never touched.
Never touched.
Oh.
So-
Might have sat a week here or there,
Coleman.
yeah.
and everybody in this bus got to see it when I got to pull it
So
out.
this last fall,
An aquarium. He had
Oh,
an aquarium.
I had selects that you could have sold at the restaurant. on that joker.
How much? You spent a little bit of time over at my
Kids
shop.
at
You spent a little bit of time over at my shop getting her straightened back up, right?
Oh,
How many knots did you pick up after you finally got her straightened out?
Say that one more time.
I said, how many knots did you pick up? Like, how much faster was that boat running?
Oh, I've never seen it go 46 miles an hour with just me. I was running like 32 miles an hour, like trimmed up.
Trimmed up before the 46
it wouldn't
after.
even get. So when I first put it in, and I actually had some other stuff I had to take care of with the motor, but got all that straightened out. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go pin it and trim it.
Give her the
you know,
beans.
Give her all the beans. Got it up to 5,300 RPMs. I've never seen it go past 4,800 RPMs. But that was, lesson learned. It was more so I knew that was going to happen. It was just kind of, hey, I had to
Do you
start
think it was
seeing-
going to be like that
Had-
big of a difference?
When he pulled it on the lift over there, I said to him, I says, they make bottom paint.
I know. It sat in my house for 6 months. I looked at it every single
How
day.
did that smell though? That smell when you
Yeah,
pull a
it got
boat,
to a point, Megan's like, bro, it's got to go. Like, this can't
all
be
those
here
oysters
anymore.
and barnacles
It
starting to.
smells so bad.
Okay, so I've always wanted to try it, and I've never done it. But like, take a boat like that and run out to the reef sheepshead fishing, and then get a diver just sit there
Just
and
go out on the boat and
scrape
scrape her
it off,
down.
yeah.
I
and
tell you
see
what.
if that would be the best sheepshead bite you ever get
I
on.
promise you it would have been.
If it was under my boat last year,
We'd have
Yeah.
wore them out. 5 minutes, we had a limit.
you would have
Loaded up.
limited out real quick.
They've been like spadefish come top of the water.
Yeah.
I'd like to try it one time. I'd like to try it one time. Just once.
Can we do that again? Can you not?
No, that's more of those one
That was
and done.
that was
kinda,
2-3 days of just straight sanding and prepping just to
man.
get it back ready.
So we all three of us run the same haul, the Key West.
239.
Yeah, and so I'd like to know, kind of, you've ran it 3 years,
This be 4.
4. You've been
Smells
on
like
it,
a year.
and then you made it for a year,
I made it for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay,
It was quick.
Hey, good break-in.
yeah, that's right.
Good break-in period. Here you go.
I just kind
Trial by
of
fire.
I just laid out the basic. Hey, falling tide, go hang out over here. Incoming tide.
I mean,
Look,
over here.
honestly, so I
Call me.
think there's a lot of benefits to that because you figure out stuff for yourself. I find
yeah.
myself relying on stuff that I learned and not trying to learn new stuff.
Yeah.
Pros and cons, your number one favorite thing about the boat and how it's set up, and your least favorite thing about the boat.
All stars.
Yeah, let it rip.
Go for
I
it.
like that it gets shallower than it says it will.
Oh, yeah.
Very shallow.
How shallow do you think you can
6
get?
inches.
6 inches?
I have gotten. It was me and one other dude. Didn't have a lot of
Dustin
fuel.
says not with me on the
No.
boat.
Not with me on there.
Not with me on the boat.
6 inches ain't happening, bro.
Like,
I think you could do it, but it would not be. Your
no
timing.
fuel?
Your timing would have to be impeccable because what I have to do, and it works really well, is almost plow, like get a good head of steam going.
To be like that.
Shut the motor off. Farmer Dave. Shut the motor off, lift the motor, and if I can get 2 or 3 people to stand midship, and when we hit, they all run forward, it usually, that wake
Yeah.
you create picks you up and takes you over that
Teeter
sandbar.
totters.
So I don't know how much water because I need a little bit of momentum,
Yeah.
but what do you...
It might have not been 6 inches on the dock. It was in between like 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Enough where I was floating, like maybe one prop at a time was going through the water, but I went
Barely.
about 10 yards and got over a sandbar. It was in J hole.
Yeah.
was
Oh,
like-
yeah,
That's got to be Jay.
I hung out in J hole longer. I mean, I literally looked at my guys. I was like, let's make one more cast, or we're gonna be best friends for the next 8 hours. That's just
Is that
Oh, that was on a falling tide?
on a falling tide.
Falling tide in
And I was like,
J-hole.
make one more, because I just saw one more oyster than I want to see.
Yeah.
Make this cast, reel them up. I'm gonna go ahead and crank the motor and get everything situated. Y'all, catch a fish, get your buddy net it, and then we gotta go.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we did. And I glided over. I had done that one time, and did get stuck though.
is that 6 inches on the depth founder?
Yes, it was like point. It was like fluctuating between like 0.6 and 0.8.
Gotcha.
I was saying mine stops working at like 1.5, 1.3 is when mine stops. And I can feel the hull crunch. I have a mark on my gaff of where a shark bit it. And I know at that mark, I will hit. and I will stuff the bow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
Y'all take
I
these
stand.
little boats, lost Shallard.
Yeah. So I stand on the bow with that gaff, and I'm like poking. And when I see that mark go underwater, I know I'm good. I know I'm good. When I hit with the gaff and that mark is above water, reverse, Terry, reverse.
Reverse, Terry.
What else about those boats? What are good? Love,
Yeah.
hate?
What's the one thing? Give me one con about the boat.
Um,
Because no boat's perfect.
No,
No matter
and
what we do.
we joke about it being wet all the time.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
key wet.
any boat is going to be wet at some point.
Some boats are wetter than others.
Captain Dustin, I will say that he does approve of me clearing the way sometimes to not
Absolutely. I will get behind you all the time.
You put the baby in the cradle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
run the 24
me
behind the
ride
26
behind
and
Yep.
plowing.
Yep.
It just doesn't take chop very well sometimes. Like, if it's not
Is it like a slappy
Very-
hull? It slaps or pops.
But to be
or-
fair, I feel like Captain Tommy's boat with a hard top takes it
it
way
does,
better than
because
mine.
I have driven
Yes,
that boat.
yes.
Way
and
better.
even though it's the
that
same
does
hull,
make
it
it-
has a hard
wait,
top.
makes
He's
a
got the hard
difference.
top.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have the bimini or like the bikini top
Yeah,
on top.
His
He
boat
has the
hard top.
Yeah,
Rolls through it. Way better.
Now, what year? His which I'm trying to figure out which one. Obviously, I think of all of them. Which
Mine is
the
a
new-
2016.
I think his is
2016.
an 18.
I was about to say it is a
18
little
or
bit
19.
newer.
Yeah.
His might be a 19.
We got a weird one going on. We got the 2 fish finders. Both of them are sea hunts. The fish finder 1 will take the waves a little better than the fish finder 2.
Really?
I know how make that any sense.
No.
No,
Can't make sense.
You know, I don't know if the fuel
I
tank
think it has. No, I would say the one is a little better than 2, but I will
I
say
had a little bit of weight between him and
No, that's what I'm talking about. The one
but
rides,
I
it'll take
will
the
say
waves
this:
a
they
little better than
both
the
have
two.
the same. Do you have any kind of natural list to the boat? Because the fish finders will have a natural port list, so I always put an extra person on the starboard side because it helps compensate for the fact that like I'm going to be off the port side.
It does.
You know what I mean? And then on top of that, I have to compensate for that lean
That hole does lean
to the port a little bit.
just a little bit, so I can take my trim tab on the right side. I hit it twice,
Twice.
and it levels out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it has a lot to do from the fish finders. 26
his
foot
list to the port
sea
a little
hunts.
bit because that's where the steering wheel's.
I was about to say, he's
Where
sitting a
he's
little
right,
heavy
that's
on
where
the
he's
yeah.
You're right. You're right. What about you, Dustin? What do you think about as far as running the Key West boats? I mean,
I like the
live,
Key West.
the live well action,
I
or
like the live well.
'cause you guys have dual live wells on those, right?
I do.
I do. Not.
I
I do
got-
have dual live wells, but the
Dude.
front one does not work.
Okay,
Front-
so it's just
the
like
front
a
one does not
like
have
a
a pump.
Yeah, there's no pump.
It's just a
Just
it's
a-
like my mud minnow tanks.
Yeah.
sometimes, you know,
I
'cause
feel
it
like
dump a lot of
mine-
It'll hold water, but it don't pump water. Mine pumps water.
gotcha.
My con is this tall, 6'6".
Yeah.
So I have to literally stand with my legs spread out where I'm down below, where I can see
Oh, see below the T top.
below the
Well, bring it
Storage
over.
at
Bring it over this winter. We'll put some extensions for you on
Cut
there.
the top. And
We'll put you a little.
Yeah, I mean
some
that's
extensions
outside of that, and I hit my head on those kingfish rod holders all the time.
oh, the outrodders.
Yeah,
The one are laid
which
out.
is fair. Well, that's fair for me to hit.
Yeah, I think Jimmy has.
I've hit it a lot though.
You know you can wear a helmet on the boat, right?
I probably should. I mean,
It's
I've hit it a
okay.
lot.
You can wear protective headgear.
Yeah,
I think that's OSHA approved these days.
yeah. I have been, but I mean, I have been. Like I said, it does get skinnier than I was expecting it to get.
Yeah, they do. I'm very surprised because I don't know.
'Cause
what
I've been
we-
in some sketchy.
I don't know what we can do with the fish finders. I mean, I know. I just feel like it's got a deeper V, and I definitely even trimmed all the way up. I don't even think we can get.
You got two motors.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, just for
Yeah.
me starting out, I literally relied on. I radio fished for all last year.
Yeah,
No idea where to go. And then I just started venturing out. I'm like, okay, I can make it here. I can make it here. I never went south last year. I went to down Oaks and I stopped. Never went any further than that.
gotcha. Like back
Now I've
in,
been
up in towards
all the way
Huntington
back. Like,
to
okay, I
back
can make it all the way back.
past Brigham's, past.
Yeah, I went all the way to the observation deck. Like,
Yep.
okay, I can make it. That's
Yep.
cool. Didn't know I could do this.
Yep. And then just figuring out which tides you had.
Yeah,
to,
exactly. Yeah. It gets a
Always-
lot skinnier than I thought it would.
Always explore on the incoming tide.
Yes.
yeah.
Low
100%.
incoming.
Not exploring on a falling tide, that's for sure.
But what's cool, back to the Key West though, is that that is about the biggest boat that you're going to get away with. I mean, I know the Pathfinders do pretty well, but they're a lot shallower boat. You got a lot more gunnel on yours for a single 250 or a single 300. I mean, that's about
God bless you.
that's about as that's about as big as as big as a boat as those 250s can handle. And I mean, they're super efficient. I mean, what do you feel as far as efficiency goes when it comes to, you know?
Bless you.
Yeah, no.
I put me up a guardrail rope. I put a rope from the pole to the dock.
Oh.
So that someone can reach up and do like this and push the bow over.
That's actually something I was going to talk to Tommy about too. Something that you guys could have that I noticed one of the other guys of theirs, they use, especially for those bow end, having crossed ropes already there. And once you get so far, it won't let you nose.
It won't let the nose travel.
Travel too far off one way or the other. But I like the way you guys tie those up because you got that crisscross in the front and the stern can kind of pivot and you just pivot off the nose and the nose never goes anywhere. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
100%.
All right, so we're talking about what was outside of the slip. What's been the closest call for each of you guys for, oh man, you about lose somebody or lose some equipment?
Your biggest oh crap moment.
Yeah, oh crap.
I'll say mine would be, I was just talking about this earlier today. My live well doesn't sit all the way flush at the top.
Yeah.
So if you turn the live well like pump wide open, let the water in, it just flows over into the bilge. So you got to pump the bilge. You got to slow it down some. Well, I forgot to pump the bilge out some.
So water comes in the live well faster than it can drain out. So
Correct.
it overflows.
But you can obviously you can turn it down.
Yeah, you can control it.
I didn't control it, so I just filled up the bilge. Then I went to take off one day, and I was like, why is this thing not getting on plane? That was full of water.
Now, where were you when this happened?
3
So,
miles.
well,
3 miles off the beach.
the
Fish
fun
box was full.
the fun thing about our boat is once the bilge gets filled, then it goes into the console. Then the
I
console
didn't have any in
fills,
the console, though, but it was only in the fish box and the bilge.
and then the fish box fills.
Wow.
So
So you're just continuing to fill void spaces. There's
yes.
Float switch?
Everything's connected.
Can anybody say float switch?
So well, what I was going to say is the worst thing about our boats is the bilge and bilge access. I am not the biggest dude in the world. I can usually get in a bilge and change pumps no problem. I can't change my bilge pump.
I know, that's the
I can't-
aggravating thing with the...
very small. So what?
Yeah, I can
You
either
can't
get
reach it?
No, my arms aren't long enough. I can get a head in or an arm. I can get a head and an arm, or I can get 2 arms, no head. But I can't get a head and 2 arms in the bilge compartment to see it, and my arm, singular, isn't long enough to reach the bilge.
Gotcha.
Where the bilge is mounted. So I can't. I physically can't
It's
do
hard
it.
for me to reach it, and I'm 6'6".
Yes.
If
Yeah.
it's something you're interested in, I can show you how to wire you a high water alarm. So that if that ever happens, it's a real...
We don't have it. It ain't happening
Simple.
anymore.
Yeah. So
It's a one and done thing.
but I mean, what basically was it like? Oh crap! Turn the bilge pump on, and you were good to go.
Yeah, I
or-
was fine after that. Yeah, I just had to let
so
it sit
basically, the
there.
automatic didn't quite, or the pump itself couldn't keep up.
Don't have an automatic.
Doesn't have an automatic.
Correct.
That's
That's why I was saying float
yeah.
switch.
Yeah.
Float switch. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just
Well, when the
barely
float
put it
switch
on,
goes
like,
bad, but the bilge
plowing,
pumps.
Yeah.
just let it drain all out.
Yeah.
I
Always
got
good to go.
I got a trick.
Now,
I'll
did you
tell
notice that? Now, did you notice that that if you put it on plow, could you open the back hatch where the bilge is? Did you notice that like the water would push towards the back? I don't know if that's something
Correct,
you've ever
yes,
seen.
it did, yeah.
So if in the similar situation, I've always kept in my mind that like I know if I'm sitting level and I've taken on water, that even if the water is above the hatches that are in the back above the bilge, if I put it on plow and open those hatches up, it will force water out of those hatches out overboard while the pump's already pumping, at least get you picked up. But you did the right thing.
That's all well
go
and good
forward.
until you slow down a little bit
Yes.
and water comes back.
Good. Yes, you got to keep going
Yeah,
forward.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
You
gotta
have one
go
option.
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's a tricky thing because I did that one day thinking the same thing, trying to go in the jetties, realized falling tide, waves, some big boat, it might have been scuba boat,
Yeah.
came by and I went to go pull off to jump over the wave.
But did you have your hatch open?
Oh,
or-
yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, not good. Not
No,
good.
that's not good at all.
No.
Not ideal there.
No,
not
not
ideal.
ideal there.
Not ideal.
No.
What about you, Mr. Coleman? What's the latest? Oh crap!
The latest,
Or the best. What's the best?
there's a few come to mind.
That's always good.
Probably my oh crap moment is, usually I always ask guys, like, hey, if you have medical conditions or something, just, hey, let me know. If you have seizures, we can still go fishing. At least I know.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on you. We kind of skip that part. That's something I always say. And they just, hey, it won't
Failed to
happen
mention.
today.
Failed to
whatever,
mention
yeah.
any medical. If there's anything.
Yeah, and this guy.
The shellfish allergy is my favorite. Has
Oh,
that gotten
Hold-
anybody?
Sitting back there holding a shrimp.
Yeah.
Like,
Nope,
you
never
just start
had that
swelling
one.
up.
Oh
Hadn't
yeah,
had
yeah,
that
yeah. You
happen.
need it, especially if you're shrimp fishing.
Yeah.
Ask
Shell-
if anybody has shellfish allergies.
Shellfish, yeah.
And even when you're not, I had a kid, and that and peanut butter. I'm a sucker for nabs. And I was eating nabs, and I guess they didn't see. And I grabbed a rod, and I guess the peanut butter was on the rod. The kid grabbed it, I don't know, touched his face or whatever, break out.
Wow.
So Benadryl's always good to have in the med kit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and even like if you're drum fishing and then the next charter and that shrimp's still on it, some people are so allergic that'll. So yeah, always ask about shellfish and then peanut allergies,
So you had,
especially if you're a nabs addict.
You had mentioned your medical, like, hey, if there's anything, but they never really chimed in, huh?
Yeah, and they didn't say anything, so I was like, okay, cool. Let's start the trip. And started fishing. It was hot. It's summer. I mean, there's throughout the summer, usually I get guys get lightheaded, like, oh, I didn't want to drink water because I didn't want to go pee or just whatever. Well, he was like, he gets seizures or passes out. Like, it just happens.
Yeah.
And I'm very good about I'll keep an eye on everybody on the boat. I can tell whether they're messing with a rod, in a certain way,
Yep.
this and that. It got to a point he's like, hey, I'm gonna take a break. I'm like, no worries. Grabbed the rod from him, hanging out. But I was standing on that side of the boat, and he was drinking water, and just, I don't know, for some reason I was just like, I'm just gonna, hang out right here for a second. And he just kind of lost all color and was like, hey, you good? He goes, yeah. And then just out. And I was standing beside him.
He
I called
lies
him,
like a rug.
and I called him and sat him down, just out cold, like, head bobbing.
Oh wow.
And I look over, and everybody else, no reaction. Like, oh, it happens. I'm like, what do you mean it happens? Like, I got a guy that's unconscious right now.
Yep.
And they're like, he's fine. I'm like, well,
No, he is clearly daggum not fine.
He's asleep right now.
Not fine for me.
So I sat him down, and they're like, he just gets lightheaded, this or that. And I was like, was this like serious? I mean, we're inshore. I can run back to the dock, whatever. They're like, he just gets lightheaded. I was like, okay, well, I always keep a bucket of ice water. You always put a bucket down in my ice box.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
front of
yeah.
ice, because there's a little drain plug, so
Yeah.
it kind of holds the ice a little bit better. Slap full of ice, salt water, like brine. 'Cause
Yeah.
I throw like waters or whatever. I grabbed that out and just dumped it right on top of his head. And he goes, what happened? And he just looked at me like, what happened? I was like, you were out, dude. Like, you good? He goes, yeah, but I'm cold now. And then he was fine. And I sat down right beside him, and he drank a whole Gatorade. And I was like, all right. We had 30 minutes left to trip. I was like, hey, how about let's wrap it up. We'll go back. We got some fish in the box. We'll clean them, whatever.
You are not falling out on me again.
No, like, I'm not doing the whole,
Fool
like,
me once.
I was feeling
Not on
good
my
pulling
watch.
that.
I'm fine.
He took the biggest, like, because I know that water was cold. And it was, brought him back, and I just literally just grabbed a little towel and put it around his neck. And we just idled on back to the dock.
Oh, man.
That was probably the old crap moment in the past little bit.
far
That
as
was
medical?
at the end of last summer, or like
Yeah.
maybe a fall. It was still warm outside.
He said, I'm cold now. No.
Yeah, and I was like,
I bet you
you're
are.
cooler now, for sure. You're not hot no more.
What made you think of the ice bucket?
I don't know. I went to go grab an ice water, and I pulled it out of
Yeah.
that whole bucket.
Yeah.
And was going to just dump the water on him, and I was like, nope. And I just grabbed the whole thing and just dumped it on him. And he goes, man, I feel so much better. And I was like, you have a lot of ice on your shirt and neck, pants, everything. And he's fine. You know, I don't know. It's just like one of those
Instantly
moments. I was
comes
like,
back.
like light bulb, like, ooh, that'll work, and just dumped a bucket of ice water on him.
I'd have had 100. I could have had that happen 100 times and never thought of that.
Ice.
Well, I kept on like digging around through. I was like, "There's a whole thing of ice water here. What am I digging around for my water for?" I just threw my waters out and just dumped it on him.
Dumped him.
Yeah,
Oh man,
awesome.
that's funny.
But
Any other you haven't had it? Being new to it, Dustin, you haven't had any good medicals yet, have you?
I have not had any medicals.
Any medicals? Those
Give
are
it time.
Yeah, you'll get them.
Give it time.
It is definitely one of the more scary things. Like, 'cause, and I know some of us don't think about this very often, but when we're taking these people on these trips, like we're kind of taking their lives in our hands. I mean, like you're
100%.
you're putting these people on a boat that they have no control. You have full control for the most part, and a lot of things could go wrong. But you know, keeping your head on your shoulders. We've had a lot of medicals happen before, but it seems like everyone that I've ever heard of, I mean, even like that one, Coleman, is just like we're pretty good at figuring things out on the fly and getting things fixed pretty quick.
Right.
I think part of the job and what we deal with every day is that we got to see things kind of before they happen.
Yeah.
Like, oh, when you cast, you probably don't deal with this as much because you don't use much braid, but like when you cast, you can hear a wind knot come off that spool.
100%.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I know there's a wind. One of these rods has a wind knot on it.
Yeah.
And it's
Don't pull it tight.
yes,
God.
yes.
Little
Hearing it and seeing it before it goes wrong, or before it gets worse, is something we're conditioned
Yep.
to do
Yeah.
all day,
I mean,
every
you know,
day.
us working in the same thing, medicals. We're working in the heat. We're always.
I use braid
looking.
and they don't.
Yeah.
So I know.
You know that sound. And
You can hear it from a mile away. It's always when it's like somebody wants to throw it a mile. If you're fishing one hole that's 20 feet in front of you, there's no need to throw it 600 yards.
When I ran all-day Gulf Stream trips, go 55, 56 miles, stop the boat, and somebody'd try to cast one of those 16-ounce, you know, and I get on the PA and say, look, dude, you know, I just ran 56 miles. So you wouldn't have to cast.
Yeah.
You know, please do me the favor and drop it down.
straight down.
Look, I can see them. They're right there, just straight down.
Straight down. It's pretty funny.
I've had to deal with that a lot, being all my years of party fishing.
Yep.
Because of not 6 people, I'm taking
50, 60, 70, yeah.
Yeah, I've had grand mal seizures. I've had
We've had some between me and you
medicals.
that, like just you know,
Yeah.
seizures, heart attacks, and all that kind of stuff. But we'll have time to tell some of those cool stories down the road.
But let me ask you this: can I throw one in there?
Yeah.
All right. What I'm sure that you've probably had to do it. I don't know if these guys had to do it or not. How's the most uncomfortable feeling is when you have to hop on a boat that you hadn't been on before, or a long time.
Yeah.
And you hop on and you got to take a trip and go.
Yeah.
You know, to take people. How?
Yeah, like Dustin, have you ever had to hop over on like something's wrong on your boat? You have to hop over on Tommy's boat, and I know when you guys were all with the fleet together. I'm sure that you've had to do that with
Multiple
Tommy.
times I did.
How does that feel not being in your own shoes?
It's weird when you pull up to a number that you know it's there, but it's not on the screen. You know, maybe on a reef.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, he has the same number here. I'm just gonna idle over till I see that rock on the bottom. All right, that's my number.
Yeah.
Like, the little stuff like that are like, I don't know. You know.
Things aren't labeled the same. So, like, you go to a reef and you know in your machine that reef or that number is, let's just say, 391. And you know that is, if you can get to that number and see what that looks like on the screen, all is good. Well, there's no 391 on that other machine, you know, and we didn't have a buoy at the reef for a long time, so there's no point of reference. So, like,
No point.
like there's a couple numbers that I don't even need a machine. I just know I need to be like 150 yards, and the compass needs, that direction from that buoy, and I'm on the number. It's no, and then
What about like layout of the boat and stuff? I mean, every captain's a little bit different, and I mean, I know that I'm sure Joe or some of the other captains that followed me have kind of.
Can I speak a little bit on this?
Yeah.
oh yeah, let her wobble.
Uh-oh.
From running my own boat and then jumping, sometimes I would have to run on Robert's boat for whatever reason. His freaking Garmin is a maze of fucking
never
dots
understand that.
all over.
But it's all up
And
here.
It's all in here. He's like, dude, look for the square. That's where the barge is. I'm like, there's 300 dots at 3 Mile. I have no idea. There's no buoy reference right now. And I'm sitting there.
It's right there.
Because
John. I can see it on the screen.
Yeah, and I was lost my first few times taking his boat out trying to figure out what was what. And so compared to mine where I will label a few things, not everything, but like
No, I don't
the
label-
barge
I
I
don't label
label.
anything.
I'm like, okay, so I know that it's
do
there.
symbols. I do symbols, and each year, this is my new thing. Is each year I go with new symbols, so that I know that when I plug and mark something 2 years ago, oh, that was a blue circle.
Yeah.
But last year was a green square. This year I'm on red diamond, so I know like if I had good marks this year versus last year for the previous years, you ain't getting no notes from me.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of
Notes from me.
So I ran a boat for a survey. The new owners were looking at it, and they took the guy doing the survey, and I got hired to run it. And hopping on that boat, I got there that night, and I had like 30 minutes to get it out of the slip, make sure it runs, and then make sure all the safety gear is on there, and then meeting the new owners at 8 a.m. So I had 30 minutes to figure this boat. It's a quad engine HCB. And get on there, and so my boat, most of the boats I run, there's a key, or if there's not a key, there's power, and then there's a start-stop button. This one had an ignition button and then start-stop. And then there was also 2 hidden battery switches. And when I say hidden, I mean like laying on my back underneath the gunnel, hidden. So like you could have the batteries on, but you weren't getting any power. You couldn't even hit the ignition. And I crawled all around that boat. And finally I called the one guy. He picks up and turned the 2 switches on. But me luckily I had a buddy
jumping
with
on
me.
somebody else's random boat.
Yeah.
Luckily I had a buddy with me that had seen that system before.
Yeah.
And so he knew that you had to turn the ignition button on, and then you could go to the start-stop
Yeah.
and turn the engines on. I would have been a day.
Fanciness on new,
Oh,
new boats are all
100%.
super
I've
fancy.
looked at people before and go, I swear I know how to run a boat and fish, but I don't know what these switches do.
You turn that joker on and get it running.
Yeah.
You get it running, and I'll
Lie well.
Just start flipping.
Yeah. Oh, running light.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're looking.
Oh, I didn't really have these. Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, but in the last season, I got a call from Sean to run one of his boats.
Yeah.
Dude, I got on it, had no idea.
Not a clue.
I ain't know what I'm doing. It's got 2 motors on it. Run a boat with 1 motor my whole entire life.
Just two keys, two.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on here? I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, it was so weird because I'm used to mine. Mine has no labels on it. I just know 3rd one's live well, 4th one's bilge, 1st one's running lights. I mean, I know where everything is.
Yeah.
Come
But as
over
far
and-
as, when it comes to, hopping on boats from side, like, you guys all have similar boats, the Key West boats. Similar layout, like you guys see that it seems like people fish the same ways, maybe keep their tackle in the same area, or is it like completely different from boat to boat? I mean, I know you guys have the most experience when it comes to similar boats and how they're laid out, but is every captain, you think, different or?
For the most part, my tackle's in the same exact
I
spot.
think
Same
everybody's-
spot?
Everybody's a little different.
Everybody's, and you think
I've-
Is it in the little foot compartment?
No,
That's
I
all
just
trash
think
for
it's
me.
like, some
Really?
guys,
Oh.
sometimes
Yeah, see, that's
have
what I
like
was
the 4
wondering, you
different
guys-
compartments. Like, all right, that's hooks and weights.
Yeah.
This is jig fish. This is cork stuff.
having
Yeah.
different
I literally-
layouts? Okay.
I grab my book bag and I take it off and put it back on, and I literally grab the one that I need, and then miscellaneous stuff in another one. But I keep it very simple layout. I really have like 1 tackle block sitting with me. That's
10-4.
What's your foot compartment?
That's I have the Flambeau,
Yeah.
whatever that
Flambeau.
brand is, makes little compartments, and that's where I do. So my one is all my jig heads, and then one is big circle hooks and big weights, so like ounce to 3 ounce, and then one is all my drop shot and knocker rig stuff. So your half ounce, 3/4. Your ones with the swivels, all my hooks all my Kale hooks are in there. I got one compartment in there with painted like flounder mud minnow jig heads. And yeah, I just got a bunch of little tackle things that have things I use a lot of, and I just load them up, and they stack super nicely in there. And I think it's
Mine's
three-
strictly trash.
three wide,
Trash
2
goes
high,
here.
and they're
It's full of Rain's Orange Dreamsicles right now.
what?
Energy drinks.
But you don't use the back compartment for trash? That back one by the motor?
That's my cast net.
Oh. Oh, we need to just have a day and just sit and go over each other's layouts. And see,
I like that idea though.
Yeah. So like my cast nets are front port side.
You have a tea bag though.
I do have a tea bag.
Okay, you have a tea bag.
Oh, you're too tall for
So
a tea
all my
bag.
life jackets and everything's up front.
Front. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because you wouldn't be able to work with a tea bag.
I could never stand up.
No, you couldn't.
I just cut mine off this year.
The tea bag.
All my stuff's up front.
Yeah, that checks out.
Same thing. We had to do the same thing for Joe on the Fishfinder 3. We had a tea bag on there, but he's rubbing his head on it, so we had to move all his life jackets up front.
So
like
here's
literally
what's
sitting
wild.
here doing this the whole time.
Here's what's wild. So you know what I really thought about for a long time is how to do a front tea bag and a back tea bag.
Oh, I have two.
I could do-
but it.
Because I'm short
Why
enough,
don't we
I
just
can
put
look.
the tea bag on top, like a car, like those little
I think the
storage things
sun.
like a minivan.
I think the sun.
The
Do it
sun and
backwards. Throw it up top.
yeah, well, the sun and the safety factor too. Because I mean, the main thing with the tea bag is that you just grab one big zipper, or you just grab a hold of it, and all your jackets come down. Could you
Oh
imagine?
no, I don't think the zipper on my tea bag works anymore. I think it's so
Oh, I know.
sun faded. I can just.
I've already got a thought in my head too. Like
That's
I try
why I
to
cut
check
mine
it,
off.
wax it each year, but I'm already like, okay, knife's there. If we need jackets,
Yeah.
you know, if you had to. So
No, the
I
sun.
grabbed
The
my
sun's
zipper,
done.
It would just the piece would just come off. So I cut mine off. It was well overdue. It lived a good life. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I didn't keep anything in the other like little zipper pockets and stuff. Maybe like some heavier leader, or this or that, or fish holders, like fish grabbers, bogey grips. But I only had like 3 life jackets in there, so I
Trip.
just put them up underneath.
Shrimp net.
Shrimp net.
Shrimp net.
What about a shrimp net?
I can cut you a piece of tail bag.
Oh, to make he's talking about
Oh, make a new
yeah.
make a new
Bro, you
tea
gotta give us
bag.
more context in this show.
Yeah.
Trip net.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So I had somebody 2 years ago as a prank. I still don't know who it is. I've heard of like 3 people, but they put a banana in the tea bag
Oh,
in
yeah.
between 2 life jackets,
Well, I don't know who it is, but I heard about it.
and doesn't bother me. If you want to play a prank, cool. But what they didn't do was take the banana out, so that banana rotted, and my life jackets absorbed all that banana juice.
Oh,
And there was like 2 days where I was like, man, something smells funky. But like every once in a while, a shrimp gets
and
stuck
this is
somewhere.
like right above your head.
Oh yeah.
The
Well,
wind-
and it's behind me. So
Yeah.
anyway, long story short, after that, but when I found it, it had demolished these life jackets. I mean, it turned those orange life jackets just icky brown.
Yeah, I have
and it,
banana flavored life jackets.
yeah, and when I pulled it out, it was the perfect banana shape, squished like beef jerky. And that joker had been in there for a hot minute and ruined those life jackets. So a tea bag that I could see inside and see the deterioration
Well,
wouldn't
you
be
know
the
what I'm
worst
saying,
thing.
don't you?
Well,
I've taken
yeah.
and done it before. We
Yeah.
cut a section of.
Well, what I'm
shrimp net.
saying is that would be better than the tea bag that I have because
Oh,
I
that's
can at
all
least
sealed up.
see in there.
Yeah,
And
see
you
what's
can
in
thread
there.
And
a
if
piece
somebody
of rope through
stashes
one
something
end
in
and a
there.
piece of rope through the other end, and
Well,
I've used those for storage.
for first runners and first captains to tea bags, that's a way to wrap her up there. Huh? What do you think?
Yeah.
Guys, well, I enjoyed having you guys here. This is really awesome, and we'll probably have you guys on.
Appreciate you
anytime.
having us.
Appreciate
Yeah, man. Look forward to some many more stories down the line, guys. Remember, we had Captain Coleman with Rooster Tail Fishing Charters, and obviously Captain Dustin with Outlaw Fishing Charters. The great Quentin, Murrells Inlet Fishing Charters, myself, Captain Robert, and Captain Jack from Fishfinder Fishing Charters. Guys, stay tuned for the next Captain's Report.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.
Peace.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. If you're in the Murrells Inlet or Myrtle Beach area, come check us out live. And if you're looking to get on the water, check out our sponsors that help support this channel. Link in the description below. Thanks for watching, tight lines, and we'll see you on the water.